Yes, and another radical change was what I was actually alluding to, I realized earlier. I mean, when I said, well, if you find that, the wife leaves you and you're financially ruined, no family, no job, and you're 104, well, that was my position. I don't know now, because this comment's 5 years later to the recording referred to that I'm revising here or revisiting in order to publish it for you. And I'm publishing it in sections, A, B, and C, but commenting as I go. And so the comment now is relevant to me because of my experience, which is this, what you would think was a tragic mishap. The wife leaving you and dramatic change, hating you. I mean, goodness, she loved, and I loved her. Well, I still love her, but there's not much joy in loving her, I can tell you, not now. But it's been an incredible blessing to me and a massive change. And I don't mean from, well, I perhaps mean from being what I would now see as more religious to what I now am, which is, as I understand it, I suppose the easiest way of coining it would be to say I'm more spiritual now and less religious. The world looks at me and thinks, oh, he's Christian. The church looks at me and says, oh, he's extremely doubtful, don't have anything to do with him, And I can understand that in a positive and a negative way. Yes. So, are you between the devil and deep blue sea? No. I'm enjoying the beach. You mean you're on the street? No, I don't mean that. No, but my security in worldly things has been tragically shaken, you could say. Those that purpose to love you forever change their mind. Oh, that's tragic. That's terrible. And to have someone who hates you is just, well, it propels you into the arms of God, I can tell you. Well, it did me anyway. I mean, I don't know if it does for all people. For some people, it propels them into the most satanic response, perhaps, Yeah, well, by the grace of God, that didn't happen to me. And so I am... Well, I was dedicated before, but I'm dedicated in a more something way. My time, of course, is, he that's single loves God, he that's married loves his wife, She that's... I'm going to distinguish here. I suspect it may be the case that she that's single can love God. Put God first, I mean by that statement. Whereas when she's got kids, I think God has it that she puts the kids first. I mean, she just has to. It's a maternal drive. Just as his is a paternal drive, but he doesn't actually quite put the kids first. He puts the wife first because, well, probably the wrong reason is because she's so important to him. The right reason is because without her, he's bewildered as to how he cares for the kids, other than finding another wife, of course. But then that may not be the problem, because she's taken the kids and so forth and so forth. And you know the problems of marital breakup. It's a difficult time, to say the least. But it can have these major changes where you seek God, or you throw God out the window because your religion didn't hold you up in the circumstance. Even the church, perhaps, treasured the one who's being evil towards you. That's a disaster too, isn't it? I mean, there's a whole variety of things out there. It's very hard to give some general statement that's valid in all circumstances, But yes, we are greatly changed by our life's experience. And in hindsight, we may well wonder, wasn't that necessary? Perhaps that was necessary. That's why God had it happen. And perhaps that's the best thing to trust, because to trust otherwise would be to, in some sense, doubt God's continuing ability to care for you and provide, which he does do even through these incredibly difficult circumstances, so that indeed you do find the things of the world are not to be your concern, what I shall wear, what I shall eat. Contrary to my basic recording above, it is in context in the scripture, isn't it? Take no thought for the morrow, things of the morrow take thought for themselves. And then he specifies. He doesn't say all spiritual things. He says, for instance, the food, the clothing, the shelter, God meets your needs. He does it for the birds. How much more for you? You're appealing to the ego of man here, that they're more important than the birds. I don't think they are. My hope and trust is that every creature is important to God. Just is. And he's wonderful and loving enough to have the best for every creature. God is an awesome God. Everything I see about him in his creation is fantastically awesome. Whether it's the way the plants grow, the sunlight, the body we have, the DNA and all that amazing stuff, the universe, matter, that it's a seething mass of whirling particles held in incredible forces. That's just staggering. How could you not hope that he can do all things well? That in some obvious way should be the inevitable of life, isn't it? But it's not, apparently. Some people get so down and depressed they top themselves. And with all our heart we would love to rescue them. But not just rescue them back into the same depressed life, of course, but into the hope, and the joy of the hope, and the peace of the hope, and the transformation of life through such hope. I'm come that you might have life, and have it more abundantly, life eternal, by the grace and the goodness and the love of our Heavenly Dad. And it's that which can majorly steer you when you go through difficult times, and he brings you through, and he does provide. And you would have thought, there's no way I could cope with such distressed circumstances. But you did. By the goodness and the grace and the love of God that somehow is with you and in you. Love you, Heavenly Dad. It's covered love. Yes, of course it is. I love him for all the goodness I see he's given to all life. Why is that? Well, one, because we want these things, but two, because it shows his spirit, his character, his loveliness, his love. How wonderful that he should have such love, that he does such wonderful things, that are such a blessing to us. Thank you, Heavenly